We're going to do 2 stories today. We're going to talk about Sean Strickland attacking Sneako again. And I have very valuable information about this story for all of you guys. Really important. You know, sometimes I feel like the value of my channel is just I come on and I say funny things and you either think I'm funny or you think I'm an idiot. And then that's that. In this case, I am going to provide you information that you most likely do not have, which will provide a lot of context to this thing that happened with Sean and Sneako and how people are reacting to it. I promise you, you have not seen the video that I'm going to show you. I can pretty much guarantee that. Also, we're going to look at Jon Jones, blacked out drunk at a comedy show, heckling the comedian. It is absolutely hilarious. And you can rest assured that if you are a famous person in the MMA community and you do something where you are super, super wasted and it's on camera and people are talking about it, I'm definitely going to do a video about it because I think it's funny. And I would do the same thing to any of my friends and have many times. You know, my friends get blacked out drunk. I make fun of them about it. That's just kind of what I do. So I just treat everybody like they're my best friends. And so Jon Jones is today my best friend who accidentally got too drunk and found himself on camera slurring and just letting everybody know, like, this is how drunk Jon can get. He can get this drunk. It honestly sounds like he lost a bet and beer bonged a fifth of vodka. Like, he is lit, son. Lit. And we're also going to talk about how grateful Jesse on Fire is that of the vices that he has had, that alcohol is not one of them, because I just fall asleep. I just fall asleep. I always thought that was like a curse when I was younger. It's like, man, I never get to have fun and be up late at night, you know, because I just fall asleep. And now as a grown up, it's like, man, thank God, because no one has ever seen me sound like that, because I would have been asleep hours and hours and hours and hours earlier. So that is what we're going to do. And I appreciate you guys hanging out. And hopefully, again, I hope you had a great Super Bowl Sunday. But the game hasn't happened yet. So I really hope that the Niners win, since I've been a 49er fan my entire life. Anyway, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. If you want to wait until you think that I've provided you some value today, you could consider that either I make you laugh, which I'm definitely going to try to do with the Jon Jones story, or you just go, oh, wow, I did not know that about the Sneako thing, and now it changed my perspective. That's the deal. Either of those things happen, you can subscribe, or you can just do it right now. And go ahead and like this video either way, because I'm trying for you guys, you know. All right, so let's start with the Sean Strickland thing. This is not the thing that I was intending on doing, but I edited this in afterwards because I saw on Strickland's Twitter this tweet, which is so funny. This is super fast. We're going to come right back to the Sneako and Strickland story, I promise, but just look at this. I broke his balls a little bit about punking MGK. That doesn't mean I don't think it's funny. And look at his tweet about Machine Gun Kelly that he did like a couple hours ago. He said, someone said, be careful. MGK doesn't like when you make fun of Megan. What does that mean? Do I need to glue wood chips inside hollow points? Do I need to carry a crossbow? Buy a wooden stake? Is this how I become the new Blade? And so, like, when he says hollow points, I was like, oh my God, man, stop threatening to murder people. That's what I thought he was talking about. And I realized, I'm like, oh, he's saying he's a vampire. He's saying MGK is a vampire. And I laughed very hard. And I mean, that's a funny tweet, dude. And then look at, he did this one. UFC champ takes jab at Megan Fox for decision to be in a relationship with weirdo. Oh man, I'm not a perfect person, dude. I mean, listen, I made a pretty compelling case yesterday for why it's kind of messed up that he did this, but like, I am far from a perfect person, man. I think it's hilarious. And then we are going to get some new insight on this situation. Start here.
Sean Strickland reposted the footage of him sparring Sneako to his Instagram today. Sean says he hates influencers. In the caption, he wrote, I absolutely hate influencers. Cancer on society. But I feel like there is a small part of this man seeking redemption.
All right, so pause. So Sean Strickland hates influencers, he said, right? So I understand that. The way I look at it, the influencer culture has created a world where something like 40% of high school kids, their number one most desired job is to be a YouTube star or a social influencer or whatever. And you look at what people think is cool when they're 16 years old and like what kind of things they're watching. And in a lot of cases, a bunch of people doing a bunch of absolutely idiotic stuff, you know, kind of promoting garbage culture, you know, the kind of the same thing that rappers have been doing forever, where you value stupid stuff. You don't aspire to things that actually matter. I understand. Now, is it understandable why a kid or anyone else would look at the life of a social influencer and compare that to the life of fill in the blank 9-to-5 job someone's going to do from the age of 22 until 65 and go, yeah, that seems like a much better option. They really look like they're having fun. Not super complicated. And social media has created a world where everybody thinks that they can just aspire and make that happen. So yeah, definitely negative effect on society. And a lot of the influencers have really idiotic ideas that then get spread throughout the world. And it is kind of like a cancer. However, I don't like generalizations. I think that you should look at a specific instance to make sure that this person is what you're saying that they are. And so we are going to look at a couple clips of Sneako so you know who he is, what he stands for, what he talks about, and a little bit of background. Why I think it's important that we do this is because Sneako was a creator on YouTube who got kicked off YouTube because far left creators that you guys all cannot stand, like Piker Hassan, Destiny, the Young Turks, and all those clowns, they got together and they attacked his channel mercilessly. They flagged all of his content and YouTube booted him. Okay, he got kicked off YouTube for saying things that 100% you guys, if you're fans of me and Strickland, are aligned on. And I'm going to show you that right now. Let's just look. I'm going to show you 2 clips of Sneako's and then see if you still feel like he is just an influencer that you definitely don't like because he's an influencer, because I guarantee you Sean has not seen these. That's my point. Strickland has not seen these. Strickland's like, I think this guy, maybe there's a little bit of redemption now that I kicked his ass. It's like, you understand he agrees with you on, like, he's been influencing people to agree with the exact things that you are talking about. If what you're doing is super important, Sean, which I agree it is, you go to Canada and you're like, you're a cancer. I agree, that's important. Sneako's been doing that for years. He got kicked off YouTube for that. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Let's watch a couple clips. This is him talking about the Mr. Beast guy who was a guy and now is some other thing that's not that. And then some other trans influencer. So let's watch.
Months ago, and this is Chris and Mr. Beast as of recent. I almost didn't even recognize, because I know Chris. I've known Chris for a couple years, since 2018, and I did not expect this. He replied to this tweet and he said, HRT, and it's only been 2 months. HRT, if you don't know, is a transgender affirming medication. I think it's just estrogen. People ask me a lot, do you regret not continuing to work for Mr. Beast? And you can see him in the replies. Mr. Beast is backing this up. He's like, opinion irrelevant ratio, here's what the ratio, and then look at all these people in the replies. Slay! You are a fucking legend. Dope seeing you happy and being your unapologetic self. Proud of you. The Chris I know was like a truck driving, AK-47 shooting, Call of Duty playing, dip chewing. Yep.
Oh, weird. So the very first thing I showed you of him was him talking about how the Mr. Beast guy, going trans, he's going to live to regret this, and he's making fun of all the people on Twitter. Oh, don't live your truth, slay queen. Does that sound like anybody that you know? Reading far left tweeters with voices like that. Oh my God. If you like my channel, I would imagine that take probably caught you off guard. You're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that from Sneako. I thought that he was just like some clown that would like go prank people. It's like, no, he's one of us, actually. And then there is this one that I wanted to show you. This is that person that is blurry up in the top right is that super overweight trans influencer that went viral due to a level of delusion that is almost unfathomable to humanity. By the way, you see this? That's a fake tattoo. I got matching fake tattoos with my youngest daughter today. So that is why it is all off color. Anyway, whatever.
Believed he was a black man. Would you respect it?
I just feel like that's none of my business.
Okay, but you're making it our business right now. Hold up, Aiden. When you're correcting me for calling you a man, you're making it my business. You're policing my language. So if Adam comes in here and says, I believe I'm a black man, he's making it your business because now he's saying you need to go call me by my pronouns. But at the end of the day,
I don't care what your opinion is. Because like that's your opinion. I don't go fuck.
No, but that's not true. That's the whole point of changing the pronouns is telling other people to use the pronouns that you made up. You're policing other people's language.
Because I feel like you're being rude.
Okay, but you see the inconsistency? It's either you don't give a fuck or you do. Because now you're calling me rude, but you just said you don't care.
Remember the deal that we made? If I gave you some information that changed your perspective on Sneako, you had to subscribe to the channel. I'm calling that in, dude. Do you want to know why I felt compelled to do that? It's I don't like when narratives start running and people don't have all the information, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, why would Sean Strickland be attacking Sneako? Like they literally agree on all of this stuff. Like Sneako's like like Sean is trying to capture hearts and minds, right? That's why it's important to use your platform to say things like, you are a cancer, you're an infection, right? You make all that. Sneako's like the young influencer that's been doing that forever. I don't understand. Like, why? And Strickland sounds like he's like, maybe that's like Strickland's way of being like, oh, maybe there's an inch of redemption for this guy. It's like, I guess that's Strickland being nice, which is fine. But the people that have been watching this that I've been talking to are like, good, man, good. Sneako got smashed. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. They're like, he's an influencer, or they're like, he was bullying Mike Musameshi. I'm like, was he though, really, guys? Like, what happened there in reality was he said jiu-jitsu creates these nerd champions like this guy Mike Musameshi. That's literally like just an innocuous thing that he said when he was on a stream. Completely ignorant, obviously. But Mike Musameshi is a total nerd. He just also is one of the most incredible martial artists in the history of the world who could literally just take any of Sneako's joints and remove them from his body within 5 seconds. It was a total innocuous question or statement. And then Mike Musameshi, being the smart kid that he is, capitalized on it. And he made a bunch of reels and he was like, you're a bully, Sneako, and I'm going to teach you a lesson. And he got into like an online beef because Mike Musameshi is a martial artist and he can use Sneako's platform to gain followers. It was genius. Okay. Sneako's responses to him were super chill. He's like, you're a world champion, dude. Like, I mean, I'll take that ass beating, but all I want from you is I want you to try to get me an interview with Mark Zuckerberg. Because he wanted to talk to Mark Zuckerberg about the global control of information. Okay. He's not just some dumbass influencer. Now, is it super important what your opinion of Sneako is? Not really. I just want you to know who he is so that you can fast forward to the part where you're like, oh, I like this kid. He has good ideas and he's actually smart and he's not one of these complete morons like many of the young influencers are. Dude, he was born in 1998, okay? He's a kid, right? Now, I'm sure some of you guys watching this are all 98. Jeez, I'm only 19. But for a lot of you that are older, he's super young, dude, okay? And look we are at war, all right? Now, normally when I talk about this, I'd be like in a much more serious mood, but this is for real. We are at war. If you don't realize that, then I don't know what movie you're watching. That is why I make sure to talk about this stuff so much, because the power of ideas is what drives society in the direction that it's going. It's like if we just kind of sit back and hang out and go, oh, all right, so 5-year-olds on puberty blockers. That makes sense, and people don't talk about it, then what do you get? I just found out today that doctors who perform gender transition surgeries make $70,000 per surgery. $70,000. Okay. Now you might think of yourself as a very ethical person, but if someone's like, hey, this kid has gender dysphoria, I'll give you $70,000 for an hour and a half of your time today. What do you want to do? And you start going, all right, I could do 4 of them a day. So that's $280,000 a day. $280,000 a day. $280,000 a day? Jeez, listen, we got to start accepting these kids for what they are. It's very important that pharmaceutical companies are like, yeah, and then they're going to be on hormones the rest of their life. And let's do the math on that. We're all aligned. And everyone's like, where do we look to see what's acceptable and what's not? They're all like, well, you want to definitely talk to the medical group. And they're like, we also want to talk to, people who do the studies, and the pharmaceutical companies are like, get that study done. And they're all, well, let's just see what the media says. And Pfizer's like, here's $1 billion for the year. Make sure you don't say anything negative to transgender. Like, this is not complicated, dude. It's not complicated how all of this works. It's just that lots of people don't realize that's how it works, and they kind of just sit back and they're like, I don't understand why this is happening. The only way that you beat these ideas is if people who have platforms like Sneako or Joe Rogan, and to a lesser extent, people like me, and anyone who has any amount of viewership, you need to talk about it so that other people agree on it, and then it creates a groundswell and things change, all right? So Sneako's one of us, obviously. And he's got a bright future in front of him. He's one of the biggest streamers on Rumble. So anyway, that's what that is. And also he took it like a man. Now, speaking of taking it like a man, I wanted to read you guys a little exchange I had between myself and one of those, opposition lunatics who probably really liked seeing Sneako get punched in the face because they are on the other side of us and they hate everyone who might disagree with them. So I want to show you what we're dealing with over there and also show you my response to him. And as you look at the length of my response, I would imagine you're like, you wrote a response that was longer than what he wrote you. Why would you do that? It'll be very clear. I make it very clear in this email. I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to censor a couple words because I feel like if I say all the words that he sent to me, my video will get demonetized. So, we'll just do it like that. I don't feel like going in and editing a bunch of beeps. So here it is. And by the way, he was responding apparently to one of the 5 or 6 videos I did about Vince McMahon. So I don't even know what he's referencing because he's not smart enough to have realized how on earth would this guy know what I'm talking? How would he know what I'm talking about when I pick? Even if he just went one video, he didn't even tell me which one. And each of them are 30 minutes long. Moron. Anyway, so this is what he said to me. Your picture theory sucks. Vince McMahon is a piece of shish kebab. Always has been, just like Trump. Birds of a feather. I put you in that category. F you. Your podcast effing sucks. You are basically an Alex Jones. Go F yourself and all of your so-called Christian beliefs. What? Kiss my... What video of mine was he watching where he pulled that? Kiss my ass. You need to join the Kiss My Ass Club. What if that shish kebab happened to your daughters? Vince is an F. And so are people so are you. People just don't leave if they have a job they cannot match. Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, Trump, McMahon, all the same shish. F off. Feel free to send back. But I know you don't have the balls to because they are in Trump's hands. You are a liar like Trump. New York Times documented him lying over 300,000 times. You are an F. Don't blame the victim. So I got that and was like, oh, wow, this person sounds very unhinged. And I'm bored. And I'm going to be, I actually explained myself in the email why I was responding to him. So here is my response. I can't even explain how glorious it's going to be to watch you and all your hysterical, delusional pals utterly melt down when Trump landslides the walking corpse you voted in currently. Biden has dementia. Everyone knows it. Yet you guys would still vote for him and you'll scream and cry when Trump wins. You know what that means? You pretend to care about democracy. You don't. You pretend to care about America, but you'd rather have no president than the one that the majority of Americans want. You couldn't make me mad yelling about this stuff if you had a megaphone and you were in my living room. I'd laugh in your hysterical face, and I'm laughing in it now. You're a brainwashed fraud, and everyone is waking up. All the biggest Trump haters last time around are switching sides. You're on an island, and you don't even realize it. And here is the reason. I should feel sorry for you, but I don't. I should have empathy for your neurotic day-to-day life experience while I enjoy nearly no stress ever, but I don't. I enjoy watching your kind meltdown. I'm responding to you because I genuinely enjoy listening to people like you cry. The more you write or scream and cry and call us names, the happier I am. I can't get enough. I feed on the emotions of pathetic emotional twinks. Feed me. Keep it coming. So he hasn't responded, and I sent that 4 hours ago. So it's pretty disappointing. I really was hoping to get a little bit more out of the guy, but we'll see. We'll see. I can't even tell you how many times in my life people have been like, dude, why are you engaging in this? And I'm like, I love it. And they're like, no, really, dude, just don't sink to their level. I'm like, I'm not sinking to their level. I'm trying to bait them into spazzing out because I think it is absolutely hilarious. It feeds my soul. I love it because I disagree with them and I find them absolutely obnoxious. So watching them get upset is hilarious to me. I love it. I genuinely love it. You are a piece of shit, Jesse on fire. Watching your video, I literally almost just completely died. Now, real quick before we jump into John Jones, I want to say congratulations to Victor Hugo, my jiu-jitsu professor who fought Nicky Rod from B Team. You guys may remember him as the Black Belt Slayer. He is fantastic. He broke Gordon Ryan's foot, and he also had a cross-face rear naked choke on Gordon Ryan when the time ran out at EDC, an EDC overtime on Fight Pass. And look at what Victor Hugo did on Friday. Canada's last. Ooh, that is so smooth. Mickey Rock's incredible. Damn, son. Stud, dude. He is such a stud. Congratulations, Victor. And he is on a collision course with Gordon Ryan at 80cc. And now let's wrap this thing up with some drunk John Jones. Let's see here. Let's watch first.
Footage emerged on social media last night of John Jones at a comedy show recently and heckling the comedian. The comedian is actually a YouTuber that goes by Def Noodles. John sounded extremely intoxicated.
Wait, you're an audience member, right?
Uh-huh.
You're a little drunk, I assume.
Un poquito.
Poquito? I would say is.
I want your hair. I want a good white joke. Like I want a white guy to give me the best.
Well, I'll do a rebuttal to
It's
Ian.
been so
I'm a
many
good
years.
white joke.
I want my friends to give me one.
Hey.
Guys, give it to him.
Hey.
Give it to him for a good black joke.
How did you actually stumble upon this place? Are you just blackout drunk?
Well, my kitty over here was just the resource of everything. That's awesome.
Are you sure this is alcohol or is it?
Are we? Is this what you do for a good time? No, honestly, I'm trying to find the amusement in it, and you guys have been awesome. No, honestly, though, like all jokes aside, you guys have been amazing, so healing, and just
Thank you.
At least he's being nice, but this is now he's about to do the thing where he's like, as long as I say nice things, people will, give me a positive reaction, and it's not a bad policy, but he sounds pretty fucked up. We're gonna talk about it in a second.
I can promise everybody here will give you a hug on your way. So wait, what have you been drinking tonight?
oh, it's just myself.
That is
Myself is the only answer.
That's
I'm a whole goal.
Speaking of John recently responded to Tom Aspinall. Earlier this week, footage was going around of John tackling a rugby player.
Yep. It's a great tackle. Doesn't look that injured to me. But here's the deal. So, what is there to say about the clip of John belligerent blitzed at the comedy club? So, one thing I said earlier that I will reiterate is I have always been very grateful that me and alcohol do not have a great relationship. In that, if I drink, it's like, I'd take one drink. I'm like, I always say to Gabrielle after, like, because I just don't drink very much. But when I do, I'm like, I'll take like one shot. And I'm like, man, I always forget how fun this is. It's a good time. And then if I do like 3 more, then it's 9 p.m. and I'm like, and so it's basically like a shoo-in that I'm going to miss out on whatever is going on if I drink too much. And so I just don't do it. And I used to think it was a curse, but now I have seen the light because I have no DUIs in my entire life. I have no incidents like that where someone has a video of me being like, I have a million videos of my friends doing that, and they're hilarious. But if I saw myself like that, I would be absolutely mortified, and they don't exist. Now, John Jones has listen, it's never good to say that you are never going to do something again. It's just, I am never going to drink again, ever. It's like, well, you're a public figure. People are going to remember you said that. Now, if anybody sees you having a drink, in the back of their mind, they're like, thought you weren't ever going to drink again. And they're judging you. It's one of those things like, I have an idea. Maybe I'm not going to even bring it up, but the thing that everyone is critiquing you about, just don't do that again. Just don't do that. That way, you don't set unrealistic expectations from the, from the community. I'm never going to drink again. It's like, I guess we don't know for sure that he was drinking there, but I certainly hope so, because if not, we got bigger issues to address. Man, he sounded blitzed, dude. He sounded so blitzed. I don't even, like, where were they? Like, where? I'll tell you what, dude. You want to know what heckler you're not going to fuck with? Even if he's blacked out, drunk, you look out. Someone's all, yeah, just tell another one of those fucking giant asshole. Like, most hecklers, you're like, oh, yeah. You know, like I do on live streams. I enjoy it. It's like, oh, is that right, dude? Is that right? It's like, it's the same thing with a live stream. All they can do is chat. And I can say whatever I want. It's the same thing. Like the comedian has a microphone. If they're clever, they're like, they can just light up hecklers. But hecklers are ruining the show. And so in a lot of cases, guys get really, really mad. If you recall Seinfeld Kramer, that didn't go very well. But in this case, you know, somebody's heckling you. You look out. It's like, it's John Jones, unpredictable John Jones, because he's blitzed. You're all right. I'll just ask him questions like, how much have you had to drink? Because I definitely don't want him to, you know, decide he wants to find out what the inside of my head looks like. You know what I mean? He looks huge too, dude. Look at how big he looks. Look at how big he looks. Now that, to me, I don't know, man. Like, if he was going to fight Tom Aspinall next, I would just be like, I don't know what to think about this. He's huge. That certainly probably means he's very strong and powerful, but like, he just looks big, man. He looks really, really big. And who knows? Like, who knows? I mean, he made quick work of Cyril Gahn, but Tom Aspinall is a much more complete fighter. Not that they're going to fight anyway. And Stipe is getting older every day that he doesn't fight also. So who knows, dude? I don't know. I just know. If it was any other guy, if that was any other guy in his comeback fight, I would be like, how much money do I have in the bank that I could touch right now and go bet it on the other guy? But just not John, because John is magic. He's always just done whatever he wants and he always wins. So he was born to be great at fighting, for sure. Anyway, I ended up, filming this video ended up taking way longer than I expected. I've been filming for 2.5 hours and my brain hurts and I'm out of jokes. So, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys. Bye-bye.